We are here every Wednesday night for you, Florida State football fans, to talk up FSU for a 141st time. There's a lot to talk about, but this in and of itself is an extremely special show for other reasons. We introduce, yes, he's back.
Oh, hey guys. Guys, I've been waiting for a couple weeks. You haven't let me into the room.
We had to hold you back.
I've been waiting in the lobby for about a month. You forgot to hit the button there, Mark.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Seriously.
Well, I thought you were joined Willie Taggart's media staff down at FAU. I thought that's what was going on.
If they want to pay, I would gladly join the Owl staff there. No, guys, I want to apologize. Well, I'd love to blame Logan. I mean, it's what we've done for 130 plus episodes that I've been on. I mean, I missed because of work. Logan's missed these because he's been drunk. I mean, I just want to compare those.
Logan's missed because of what?
Logan's
missed what?
There's been a couple times he's missed because he was too drunk to come on.
Like a year ago.
Okay, but no, I know that's what I'm saying. We'll move on from there. I want to apologize. I want to blame National Signing Day. I want to blame the Florida Panthers. I want to blame the Miami Hurricanes basketball team. I want to blame the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, work has kept me away, but I told them all, done. I'm done with you all for one night. I got to get back to my boys, Mark Rogers, the voice of college football, Logan Robinson, the finally graduate of Florida State University. I had to get back to my boys this week. Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. We have been missing you. I will say that was the first time we've said Willie Taggart's name in 3 weeks. That is the first time we've said it. I have a feeling we'll talk about it probably around like 6:38 around there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Most likely. I'm thinking it.
You realize now I'm going to say it at 6:38 just to prove you right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just going to blurt it out. We're going to be talking about something completely unrelated. Jason just has to prove us wrong.
Just a Tourette's moment. Absolutely. Tourette's moment. Just yell it out. There we go.
Jason, people were clamoring for you last week, asking about you, and we said, hey, we just threw our hands up. We have no idea what's going on with Jason. He won't talk to us. We can't find him anywhere. You're going to have to. We were telling the viewers, you have to go find him.
I saw your message on Twitter when you promoted the show, and I felt so guilty that I was not able to. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins firing their coach in a horrible move that took away from me last week. So it was one of those things where I saw it and I felt guilty. So I hope you're happy, Mark. You made me feel guilty. You gave the Jewish mother guilt that I got the first 30 plus years of my life. You took over that job. So mazel tov to you.
Mission
there you
accomplished.
That one was for you. A mazel tov for Mark. There we go.
There we go. As soon as I'm able to nail it on the head, then I'll feel really good.
There you go. Logan, did you actually graduate? I've been missing a few weeks. Did you graduate?
Well, you had been on here. You'd been on here since I graduated.
You'd been on here. No. So you are a graduate.
No, I'm firm alumni now. I'm firm. You were here. I'd graduated.
Yes,
way long.
We gave Logan his due. He had his big celebration. Here. We gave him his applause. You don't remember that?
My camera's gone.
You were taking finals.
No, I don't think so.
It was finals week.
Really? You've been gone for like.
December 8th was my last one on here. It's been over a month.
A month. Oh, wow.
Because remember, we had the 15th. The 15th was National Signing Day. The 22nd, we weren't able to do that show. I think you weren't able to come on that one. The 29th was the Panthers. The 5th was UM basketball. And the 12th was Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Dang. So it has been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Time flies by.
Things have changed.
It's the National Signing Day transfer portal. It's just been nonstop. And stuff to talk about.
And Miami fans still can't talk smack because we beat them. That's something that has not changed.
That's the best thing. Yeah, that's the best thing.
See, Mark, I told you I could make fun of Miami within the first 5 minutes of the show. I told you.
Yeah. I never doubted that.
Come on. This is not rookie work.
And to think this man once had a perfect attendance record on this show.
I did.
That has been blown to hell for weeks and weeks. I think we're in double-digit misses now.
I think we're close to it. I think we're still about 8 or 9. I think total. I think we're about 8 or 9. I think Logan for right now is kind of the senior guy in charge as far as the two of us. But don't worry, Logan will.
Wonder where he got that line, Logan. That Logan is the senior member in charge. Here.
No!
Who knows?
He could take it back though.
It
Jason
just
does have a chance.
Yes.
Now that I know Jason's here, now if things are going on, there's too much alcohol involved, then I get a little break.
Jason, if I would have told you back
sir.
when you had the perfect record at whatever point that left you, at whatever point, 80 or 90, it may have been past that, somewhere in that range, 80 or 90. If I would have told you at that point, Logan is going to have a better attendance record than you, and he had missed probably three at that point.
A good
something
couple.
in that range.
Good amount.
Blown right past you.
I think you're giving Logan too much credit. There was a streak going on this summer.
I don't think so.
In the summer of
got
2000,
about 3 misses.
in the summer
Somewhere
of
in that
2020,
range.
the summer of 2020, he missed a decent amount. I'll give you that a couple of them.
There was a few.
There was a couple July 4th ones that he missed because he was a little bit intoxicated celebrating America. But
we
it's
have
fine.
to.
It's fine. I'm going to give Logan this moral victory. He can have it
Moral
right
victory.
now. But just like Florida State in the fourth quarter against Miami, I'm going to take the lead and get the victory. So it's fine.
I'm ready for it.
Jason is promising a 4th and 14 conversion to pull it out. Okay.
Just call me Jordan Travis, and Logan is Andrew Parchment. That's all I'm saying. That's what we're going with.
I'll take it. I'll lead us to that end zone.
And then I'll score the touchdown. So there we go.
Well, you could, yeah. I'll help you. I'll help assist you.
Guys, the people want us to talk about Florida State.
They do want us to talk Florida State.
Let's
There's no
stop.
question about that. We've only got about 20 people online, and we usually have about 100. So we better get cranked up on some Florida State talk.
Yeah.
Comments, questions in the live chat. We will get to them very soon. So we appreciate all the comments. We're about 50 behind at this point, but I will be looking at the comments, and we'll get Logan cranked up with the news, and Jason will respond to Logan, whatever you think is the most important thing. That's right. Logan just let us know before we came on. The big news doesn't involve directly Florida State football, but could. So think about the possibilities of one Georgia wide receiver, Jermaine Burton, with the garnet and gold on.
I like it.
Yeah, no. So this is one I think we talked about last week, Mark, just a handful of potential guys that would hit the transfer portal. And I think Jermaine Burton was one of the first ones we talked about. And so he officially made it true that he's going to be entering the transfer portal. Had a really good production this last season. I think on Georgia's side, they're a little shocked that this is happening, Jason. They're a little stunned by it, definitely after getting a national championship. But look on the production side, he did very well. 5 touchdowns. I don't have the yards and stats up here full, but I know he had 5 touchdowns last season. But I think the biggest thing from what I've been told is just the volume. Once more load. I mean, he's definitely looking to up his draft stock. We'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, you see Micah Pittman tweeting Florida State's new wide receiver from Oregon. They have a close relationship after being in Calabasas together and their young days. We'll see if that relationship is what kicks into gear for Florida State in the recruitment here. You've got to watch out for some of the big dogs like LSU, Alabama. But, we'll see if the relationships here can help Florida State, definitely from Pittman's side. But this has been a name I've kept an eye on since the very beginning. You look at Micah Pittman, as we know, they have that relationship. There you got Johnny Wilson now, who transferred from Arizona State, coming in as a wide receiver. Very talented guy, tall guy, all playing together. Could this trio come in and play at FSU? We'll see. Florida State has already added a major amount of new wide receivers there, and it seems like Mike Norvell is doing this on purpose. He just didn't like what he had there production-wise and the passing threat last season. And, we'll definitely see. I mean, you got to look at Jordan Travis developing once again this offseason into becoming a better passer. We'll see if that can come into fruition and, kind of lead Burton into wanting to come to Tallahassee. We'll have to listen and see what happens with this one. I think it'll be an interesting one.
And you talked a little bit about that. Obviously, Florida State had 4 transfers coming in at the wide receiver spot. But my question, you touched on a little bit, with him being teammates with Pittman in high school at Calabasas High School in California, how much do you think that will play a role? I mean, we've talked a little bit about this in the past, that Florida State it's not the same Florida State it was in 2013. That being said, it's still a name program. It will still be a national TV program. There'll be several games nationally televised. How much do you think between that and the relationship with Micah Pittman that could make Florida State a real player to get Burton?
Well, I'm looking at number one with what happened. We'll talk about it with Trey Benson, who just announced his commitment to Florida State. Will be signing with them, running back transfer from Oregon, and you can definitely tell that relationship there with Benson and Pittman worked out. And I think there was some question marks too about Benson's health. We'll talk about that too later on, but it seemed to work out. Benson came, visited, but I mean, this one was kind of done for a while now since last week. Could this relationship now with Burton lead Burton over here to Tallahassee, at least to come for a visit? That's something, if FSU's able to do that. You guys got to look at Jermaine Johnson too. I mean, Jermaine can get in his ear too and give him a talk. Obviously, different position, whole 180, but still, I mean, at least you got a guy that didn't like the volume he was getting, that play time volume, the targets he was getting. You look at Jermaine, volume-wise there, wasn't liking it. He picks up the phone call to Norvell after Norvell called him like 5 or 6 times and finally answered. And he said, there's no way I'm going to Florida State. He listens to Mike Norvell once over the phone, and he's like, you know what? I've got to go visit. I've got to go give these guys a chance, and ends up picking Florida State as his place to go. So I'm keeping my eye on Jermaine. I think on Burton's Instagram, Jermaine was already in the comments there. Got to see Micah Pittman also commenting. We can also see Pittman tweeting about it. So I think a lot of these transfer portal guys, we're starting to add these up. It's different in recruiting where this is a cycle. It's 2-3 years. Those relationships are being developed. These are strictly business decisions. These guys are usually more mature. They've been through the early years of college. These guys smarter, more mature, and this is a business route for him. This is definitely for Burton. This is an NFL route, wanting to up production volume and whatever it is. This would be an instant starter for Florida State incoming. They've already revamped the room, but Burton would do a lot of things changing that room overall. But the difference, what I'm trying to get to, the difference though is, this is relationships. I think a lot of this goes into relationships, what former teammates, when they go to other colleges and they give them the word, the good, the bad. Same thing happened with Jared Verse. Jared Verse talked to Jermaine Johnson, and Johnson told him, hey, this is the good part and this is the bad part. He just didn't BS him on anything. Just tell him everything good, bright, everything's great. Grass is greener all over here. It gave him the real. And so it just goes to show relationships are big for these guys, definitely when they're making business decisions.
Yeah, and I think the compliment has to be given to what Norvell and what the coaching staff has done with this transfer portal. I mean, it's not just the fact that they're going to get these guys from other schools, getting these guys to come into Florida State. It's the fact that they're getting them at need positions. We talked a little bit about it. So far, there's 4 wide receivers that have come in here. You've got Micah Pittman. You've got Johnny Wilson, like Logan said, from Arizona State. Deuce Spain, who's St. Pete native, coming in from Illinois. Winston Wright. Yep. Winston Wright from the Savannah area, from West Virginia. They're coming in. You got the linebacker, Tatum Bethune, a Miami native who played at UCF. How much have we talked about the needed linebacker position? That's a depth position right there. And then you got the 2 offensive linemen, Caden Lyles, a Tampa native, coming in from Wisconsin. Bless Harris coming in from New Orleans. It's these guys are coming in at the positions of need, and that's the most crucial thing. You could stockpile all the running backs, you could stockpile all the quarterbacks, you could stockpile all that. You need these need positions. You need that wide receiver position. We talked about it. If Jordan Travis is going to be a better quarterback, he's got to get all these targets. So if we can get Burton to come in, bring in that national championship experience from a national championship season in Georgia, I think that's a huge, huge get. And I think that I'm tempted to. I'm a little hesitant because last year we were very confident about what was going to happen, and we watched our team go 5-7. That being said, if you can get somebody like Burton to come in, that could be the difference in a game. That could be the difference in a win over Florida. That could be difference in that first game against LSU. It was someone who has played against SEC teams, played against SEC defenses. That's why would be a huge get for Florida State.
Yep, and they'll have to do some moving. There'll be some moving parts in that wide receiver room. I think guys are, after the spring, if not earlier, that will decide to hit the transfer portal, and that's fine. I think Florida State, from what we saw last year with Malik McLean, you still got Ontario Wilson, who's really a threat speedster, and then Ja'Kai Douglas. You got Joshua Burrell, who's going to make an emergence, I think, this upcoming spring and hopefully be a full go to participate. That room has a lot of meat to it. I think some guys will leave, but that core group right there, this is going to be extremely competitive with the newcomers coming in the transfer portal, which will be most certainly exciting to watch, but there will be moving parts. But this is a whole revamped wide receiver room. We'll keep an eye on Jermaine Burton. We'll see what happens. This is a guy that the last couple of weeks from once I was getting told over on Georgia's side of things to kind of keep an eye on him, just been doing that. And so today it gets announced, and I still think there's some more on Georgia's side and even Alabama's side that are contemplating either staying or going. They're just trying to really get their thoughts on a few things and talking internally with their coaches.
Jason, you sound like we should be taken off guard by 5 and 7. Isn't there somebody here who picked 5 and 7?
Well, if you had waited a moment, I was going to give you the credit, Mr. Pat my own self on the back. Yes, for those at home who remember back before the start of the season, Mark is the one person out of the group who said Florida State would finish 5 and 7. I believe I said
That's
7.
not
and
what
5.
I wanted.
It's not what you want, but you said 5 and 7. I said 7 and 5. I think Logan said 12 and 0, but I think he might have been intoxicated. I don't know.
What? Hell no, I did not say that.
No, you did
got
not.
me
I believe you said 8 and 4. I believe was your prediction. Was it?
No, 75.
No, you said 8 and 4. You said 8
Hell
and 4.
No.
I said 7.
Hell no. I had
5.
never said 8 wins.
But I feel like it's a position where, and we talked a little bit about it after the season ended, about Florida State needing to realize who we are right now, not who we were 8 years ago, who we were 10 years ago, who we are right now. Right now, we are in a rebuilding stage. And we'll talk about it a little bit as it goes on. Next week, obviously, the schedule will come out. We'll know who the order in which we're going to play games. But I think you need to look at it from this point. Burton can come in and bring that big program experience in the same way Jermaine Johnson did on the defensive side of the ball. Would Burton come in and be the number one receiver? No. And obviously, I don't want to get us hyped up because he could go to, like Logan said, he could go to Alabama. He could go to LSU. He could go to other programs. But if we can get him to come to Florida State, if Jermaine Johnson can get in his ear, if his relationship with Pittman can help out, you can't argue the fact that could be the difference between a win over Florida, a win over LSU, getting to an 8-win season, which would be huge at this rate. I think Logan would do push-ups if Florida State got 8 wins.
I would
Jason,
love to do push-ups.
I'm going to serve this question up to you first and foremost before we get Logan's take.
See, Logan, I'm back, and I get the question served up to me.
It has also, right, because I want to get your take because it's just for various reasons. Okay.
Oh, God.
It has just hit the newswire as well. Just been released. This has been expected. JT Daniels has hit the transfer portal out of Georgia.
Yeah, they went at the same time. This one I didn't mention just because I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I'm sure Florida State will maybe do a contact here, but I think JT Daniels wants to be a starter. I think Florida State's riding with Jordan Travis. So I still think they're going to look for a backup option. I just don't know if Daniels is what they'd want to add to that locker room, and this team, already expecting to have Jordan Travis to be a starter next season. I don't think it would just mess up the locker room, in my opinion. I think they're going to look for a backup.
So my question to you, Jason,
obviously,
would you pursue JT Daniels?
Obviously, Logan's parents didn't teach him about interrupting, and obviously they didn't teach him what his name was. His name is not Jason. His name is Logan. Logan, obviously, they didn't teach you that much. To answer your
Logan's used to answering these questions by himself because nobody else has been here.
I get it. It's fine. Logan,
did I answer for you, Jason?
He's got to start new habits now because you haven't been here forever.
As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I would say no. The same way I said about when Spencer Rattler, when all these guys come in, everyone wants to talk about I'm riding with Mike Norvell, I'm riding with Jordan Travis. I think we saw Jordan Travis towards the middle, I would say probably the North Carolina game, towards the end of the season. I saw him as a better passer than what he was at the start of the season. Do I think he's Charlie Ward, Jameis Winston, or Chris Winkie? God, no. But I think he got a lot better, and I think he will only get better as this offseason goes. And I believe Logan is also 100% correct. I think JT Daniels is coming in with that thought that I'm going to be the man. I'm going to be number one. You're going to anoint me as the starter no matter what. And I don't think Norvell is going to do that. I think Norvell, we talked about this before with Mackenzie Milton. There was the thought that Mackenzie Milton was going to come in and immediately be anointed the starter. And Mike Norvell said, no, you're going to have to work for it. And Jordan Travis beat him out and started that opener against Notre Dame. And I don't think JT Daniels wants that. So that's going to be the question. Does JT Daniels go back out west? Does he go to, another Pac-12 program or something like that? But if I'm Florida State, do I make a call? Sure. I think you give the courtesy call. I feel like you have to give the courtesy call at this rate. But would I make a concerted effort for it? No, I would not.
Okay, I'm going to be the outlier here.
Do it.
Jordan Travis is not Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. He didn't throw 45 or 50 touchdowns last year. He's not a great quarterback. He's improved. Mm-hmm. I just think that you're selling yourself short. And I understand that there's dynamics to the locker room, and the quarterback is the leader. He's the only position that you only have one guy in the field. It's not like, okay, we've got 5 starting offensive linemen, and we're going to bring in another guy. We can fit him in the rotation all as well. It's the one place where you only have one guy on the field. And so that's why it's such a difficult decision. But at all the top programs in the country, they bring in guys to flood that quarterback room and compete for a job.
Mike, I agree with you on that. My comeback to that would be this. On early signing day in December, there was one wide receiver from down here, Devontae Mortimer from Fort Lauderdale, a longtime Florida State commit, who ended up signing with Louisville. And the question we asked him was, why did you go to Louisville after being a longtime Florida State commit? What caused the change? His comment was, after watching Florida State's offense, you could tell it's not a passing-first offense. And that's the truth. JT Daniel, I think JT Daniel is a very good quarterback. I think you make the call out of courtesy. But right now in the offense, the way the offense is being run, the way it seems like we are going to run this offense this season, it does not seem like the kind of offense JT Daniels could fit into. I think, and I to a certain extent, I've complimented him several times here, but I'm going to also take a little bit of a swipe at Norvell. He doesn't seem like somebody willing to make a lot of changes. He doesn't seem like somebody who's willing to revamp the entire offense for JT Daniels. I don't think JT Daniels would be the kind of quarterback like Jordan Travis is. Jordan Travis fits the offense for better or worse. No, I don't think Jordan Travis is the best quarterback in hell. I wouldn't say he's the best passing quarterback in the city of Tallahassee, but I think he fits the job well.
Okay, I will concede the last point that you just made, because I did see some issues with the Florida State offense when Jordan Travis was the guy, would either get hurt or Mackenzie Milton would come in, and you get a different style quarterback, and you practice all week and you game plan for a style of quarterback. So I think in the perfect situation, you do have a backup quarterback who mirrors the starter in regards to style. So you can game plan, call plays, and just the entire offense works differently with a guy that's more of a runner than a passer versus a statue like a JT Daniels. So I do get that. I just don't like especially in this day and age of college football with player movement, that you let guys get comfortable and you don't promote competition. Especially when you don't have an elite quarterback. It's not like, again, no knock on Jordan Travis, but he's an average quarterback.
Do you think JT Daniel, legitimate question mark, if JT Daniel was to come into Florida State, and let's say he comes into Florida State in the 2022 season, well, how many more games do you think he wins Florida State than Jordan Travis, in your honest opinion?
Based on what I've seen, based on what I know, I think JT Daniels is a better quarterback than Jordan Travis. I don't think it's a slam dunk, like they shouldn't compete. And if I was Mike Norvell, I would not tell JT Daniels that he is the starter. I would tell him he's going to compete for the job.
You completely sidestepped my question. How many more wins do you think? Like, let's say if 5 wins is the number from Jordan from last year, if 5-7 was his record, that's what his record is from last season. How many more games do you think JT Daniel, if he were to win the starting job, wins Florida State next season?
Well, follow me on this one. JT Daniels, I think, is a better quarterback, but they might not have won as many games last year because Jordan Travis made plays with his feet, and JT Daniels can't do that.
By the way, it's 6:38, so Willie Taggart. Go ahead.
See, that's why I miss Jason right there, Mark.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. It's also the
Well,
halfway.
let's see.
It's also the halfway point of the show. That's all I'm gonna say. It's the halfway point of the show. But before Logan jumps in, Logan, give it to me, please. I need it.
You want? What do you want?
You know what it is.
Is this PG-13 rated R? What do you want?
It's the halfway point of the show. You know what we do in the halfway point of the show. Don't act like I have to teach you how to do this again.
Oh, now we're jumping up quick. We're already at 83. It's rocking now. You better hit that like button because Jason's back. We're back to arguing. We're back to getting to some good thoughts about holidays, meals, and food, and most importantly, now Florida State transfer portal potential targets. And there's nothing better than that because a Florida State fan base that's crazy during the football season and during the recruiting period only gets even crazier during the transfer portal offseason. So hit the like button. I think last time we got like 80 likes. Yeah, we got 85 likes.
Yeah.
We got 85 while we were live last time. But I think we can get this stuff. We can get this at least to 75 before the end of before it gets to 7. Hit the like button.
TK says something right here where he says Travis is not a stud. No one is saying that Jordan Travis is an elite quarterback. I don't think Logan's ever said that. I've never said that. But what Jordan Travis did was he got the job done. And I guess my point is
what does that mean?
I'll put it to you like this. I think if Jordan Travis starts the Jacksonville State game, I think we win that game. I think we beat Jacksonville State.
I agree.
I think if Jordan Travis plays against NC State, I'm not sure if we win the game, but I think it's a lot closer.
I think they win that one.
State.
I think they won that one because McKenzie just couldn't run that offense.
Absolutely. I think that's a good point. I think Mackenzie Milton's a nice guy, is a good player, but I think Jordan Travis in that offense fit better than Mackenzie Milton. That's my only knock against JT Daniel. I think JT Daniel is a good quarterback. I liked him at USC. I thought he was going to do more at Georgia than Stetson Bennett was able to do, and Stetson Bennett was able to come in and take over that show. I just don't think he fits the offense right now. Now, will Florida State maybe change that offense once A.J. Duffy comes in as the starter next season? Who knows at this rate? But that's why I just don't think JT Daniel fits right now.
There's some interesting things going on here. Just talking about Burton. There might be some goodies. Soon. There might be good snacks. There might be good nuggets in the.
What is with you and food?
Discord soon.
God. That's what I did miss. That's what I did miss.
Oh yeah, in the Discord.
Okay, why are you slow jamming into the microphone?
It's ASMR. It's the new thing. You haven't seen people just making noises on their microphone and they just like get with it.
I can just make noises, and that's a thing.
Yeah, you can make noises on TikTok.
Wow, that's like a thing right there.
Jason's like, what? What did I
this
come
is
back?
Your leader. This is your new leader right here. This guy.
That's the guy right there. He shows up
and gives you that.
Half of the evaluation is just showing up. You got to show up to perform.
I'll give you.
You got to show up to perform.
I'll give you that much there.
True. Yeah. But I think for Travis, the biggest thing for him though, if he hadn't shown any growth last year, then this would be a whole different discussion. I'd be JT Daniels, send it, got to get him now. But luckily, there's been growth. I do think you kick the tires and contact and see what's going on there with him and see what was going on over there in Georgia with him. But speaking with some of the staff and a little bit of, sources here, I think this team is definitely ready to ride with Jordan Travis. And if he can continue to develop definitely as a passer, it's huge. And last season, I think some of those games wouldn't have been won without Jordan Travis, and definitely NC State game. I mean, we were sitting up there in the press box just thinking, holy smokes, because you could see where the defenders weren't even giving a damn, giving Mackenzie Milton open space. But if that was the case with Jordan Travis, I mean, that's 70, 75 yards down the field, run, bye-bye, see ya, adios. So, that's a tough thing.
I think you make a legitimate argument that we don't beat North Carolina, and I would say probably we don't beat Miami last season if Jordan Travis is not the starting quarterback. I think those were 2 wins right there. Fan base predicting 10 wins. Yeah, we're not going to win 10 wins. Like, you look at our schedule right now. We were 5-7 last season. And if you look at the teams that we're replacing on our schedule, you're replacing 2 wins and 2 losses because you're replacing the Notre Dame loss with LSU. You're replacing the Jacksonville State loss with Duquesne. You're replacing the North Carolina win with Georgia Tech. And you're replacing the UMass win with Louisville. So you go from 5-7 to, you look at that on paper. I think you're replacing Duquesne. I think you get a win there because I don't think we're going to lose to an FCS team 2 years in a row. God, I hope we don't lose to an FCS team 2 years in a row. That would be embarrassing. And I think you replace UMass with Louisville, or excuse me, with Louisiana. I think you win that one. So there's 6-6 right there. So the other question that comes into play, you're replacing a North Carolina win with Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech was I don't want to say pathetic because they won a couple of decent games last year.
They're
but
pathetic.
I think let's be nice. Well, it's the new year. Let's be nice here on this one, Mark. I think that's a win. So that's keeping a win there. And then the question comes in, Notre Dame, you're replacing Notre Dame, a team that had 10 wins, went to the New Year's Six Bowl game, with an LSU team that, yes, they had a good win at the end of the year beating Texas A&M, but also at the same point, finished the year 6-7. So the question there is, do you get a win over LSU? If you can, that's 7-5. At this rate, I'll take 7-5. And yes, I know that sounds pathetic. Yes, this isn't the Florida State that I grew up knowing and loving, but at this point, you have to start. And I would say if your Florida State is a 7-5 team, maybe 8-4, I think that's a heck of a season.
I'll put it like this. I was in favor of the Mackenzie Milton signing. I believe that Mackenzie Milton, healthy, 2017, 2018, is a better quarterback than Jordan Travis, but he's clearly not anything close to that guy. I've seen plenty of other offenses. We all have that have 2 quarterbacks that have different styles. One of them's a better runner than passer, and they're able to adjust. One guy gets hurt and they can adjust to a different style of quarterback. But it was obvious that Florida State couldn't, that Jordan Travis was way too much of that offense, and he needed to be for them to win games and for him to produce offense. So they relied heavily on him. When Mackenzie Milton was in, he was a pocket passer, and they just didn't have the complementary pieces at wide receiver to be that kind of offense, and didn't have the offensive line to protect him. I think that JT Daniels is a better quarterback than Jordan Travis. I do think that they would compete for the job. I don't think it's such a distinction that there shouldn't be a competition, but I just don't want to see, or wouldn't want to see, the program get into a place where they're protecting players and egos, not bringing in other players. And I think that the position can be upgraded.
Yeah, I don't think it's a protection of an ego. I get where you're coming from. I don't think it's a protection of an ego. I think it's more of a, would JT Daniels fit in that offense? JT Daniel, yes, is a better passing quarterback than Jordan Travis. I don't disagree with you at all on that. I will agree 100% on that. The question is, as that offense as a whole, and you were 100% correct with what you said, the offense succeeded under Travis last year more than Mackenzie Milton because it was built around what Travis is able to do, get out of the pocket with a bad offensive line. And that's why Jordan was able to succeed, was he was able to get out of that pocket. I don't know if JT Daniels can do that.
Jordan Travis played roughly how much last year out of 12 games?
He didn't
how much let me rephrase this. How much of the time did he not play because he was hurt? He could not play.
The NC State game, he was out with the flu. The Wake Forest game, he played, like 5 plays total and had 2 touchdowns. And he played, I want to say, maybe 2 or 3 plays against Jacksonville State. So essentially...
And then the Florida game, too, he was dinged up a good amount of that game, the early beginning.
But he played I'd say probably most of the game. But he missed total probably close to 3 games total.
So there has to be another capable quarterback on the roster.
Yeah, it's either you're looking at a true freshman with AJ Duffy coming in, or you've got Tate Rodemaker, who I don't think you can fully trust.
Well, this is my other point.
Nor have experience enough. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to find. They're definitely gonna have to find a backup, but I think it's gonna happen in the spring once some of these depth charts come out and these guys understand where they're gonna be, number 2, number 3, and then figure it out. But I don't think we'll see. And someone was asking in here, do I think that Burton and JT Daniels they come as a package? I don't think that's the deal. I don't think Burton's caring about where JT Daniels goes.
Logan,
I think that's a package deal like Michael Trigg and Dart are.
Do you have any eligibility left, Logan, or not?
I talked with Coach Tokars, and I'm just trying to figure things out, really. I mean, I could do grad school maybe, right? Does that count?
I don't know.
But I don't really want to do that, though. That's too much. I've already done enough studying.
King Mac, yeah. But right now we don't have that. Right now, Jordan Travis is what we've got. So, but the question you have to ask is, if you're talking about Jordan Travis has to get better, Jordan Travis has to get better, Jordan Travis has to get better. Yes, Jordan Travis does have to improve and take a step up. That offensive line has to get better. I know that was Logan's favorite. That was Logan's calling card last season with how much better the offensive line was going to be. I don't think the offensive line was as much better as we expected. I think it was slightly better, but I think it was not as much as some people sold them to be.
Do you guys remember King Mac and let's see, there's somebody else, TK? I don't remember either one of these guys. We assume they're guys. I do. Sorry, whomever they are. But I haven't remembered them. But they're coming strong tonight. These quarterback opinions.
More comments, the better. That's what we need. And I hope that King Mac's hitting that like button now. That's really the thing. Before you can even comment, it's got to be a regular thing where you hit the like button too. And then you tell us in the chat if you've hit the like button.
I did.
Because then we like you.
All about Bake. Obviously, all about Bake with the cute child in the picture there. Obviously, he doesn't think I'll rip on him with the cute child in the picture. Obviously, he doesn't know me that well. Yes, I did 100% say that Florida State would be Florida. I was wrong on that. I did also say that Florida would be much worse than everyone thought they were going to be. Everyone was talking about them being a possible playoff contender, and I said they were going to be pathetic. And what was their final record? Oh, yeah, 6-7. So just if we have, oh, my God, a mistake kick, a kicker doing something horrible cost us a win. Yeah, because we haven't had that before in our entire history of Florida State. Oh, no, and that hasn't happened over the last 30 years.
Yeah. I think that's a good comment here from Khalil saying Jordan Travis's biggest thing is his health and staying healthy. And I completely agree on that. I mean, if we really think about it overall, man, if he were to be fully healthy in every single game, could you imagine? I mean, definitely on the win column, but stats too. I mean, that's something that he's working on, I'm sure, this offseason to make sure that he can sustain a full game and make sure that he's straight on that. And that's something that I'm sure he's working on. He gets another full offseason. He has a full offseason now preparing as a starter. He was in a competition between Mackenzie Milton and him, and now he's practically right now as a solidified starter, and he's got to get his body right and get healthy.
And for all these people who are sitting there saying JT Daniels averaged 300 yards, JT Daniels did all this, yes, 100%. You cannot compare our offense to what Georgia did, what he did at USC. That's apples and oranges. They are two completely different styles of offense, and we are not in the same ballpark as Georgia right now. I know I hate to say that. It sucks to say that as somebody who grew up watching this team during the dynasty era. Unfortunately, I was at school there during the Chris Ricks era, but then watching the rebound. Yes, we are not Georgia right now. We cannot compare ourselves to what happened at the University of Georgia.
I'm going to write down a number.
Yes.
And then, Jason, you're going to review the quarterbacks in the ACC. And you're going to tell me where Jordan Travis would place among the 14 starting quarterbacks in the ACC.
From this past season or from
the past season?
I mean, obviously, the top two, I would argue, would be, the Pitt quarterback. He's my name.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, thank you. Kenny Pickett. I think Tyler Van Dyke were probably the two best quarterbacks in the ACC last season. I'd probably put Jordan in the lower half. Absolutely. I'd probably say in the 10, 11 range as far as saying total quarterbacks. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just as a quarterback as a whole, yes, he did a lot to get the job done outside of what a normal quarterback does. For the Florida State offense quarterback, yes, he did great. But as the traditional quarterback that Mark and I grew up watching, yes, he was probably in the lower third of the ACC.
Well, as a passer, I'd rate him lower than that, but I consider a quarterback anything you can do to produce offense. If he runs for 2,000 yards and throws for 50 and that wins games, then I'm good with that. Whatever it takes. And he obviously is exceptional running the ball, and he's improved as a passer. I had the thought going into last season that if this guy doesn't get better as a passer, then it's going to be a disaster. But he did improve. I thought he got much significantly better as a passer between 2020 and 21. But still, this was an ACC that I believe had the best quarterback play in college football for a conference. And I'd put him right around where you would.
Yeah.
So do you want the 10th or 11th best quarterback in the league starting?
Do I want the 10th? I'm concerned after last season. And I guess this is when you've been burnt. And you talked about you were right. I said this before. The problem with Mackenzie Milton was that a lot of people came in and expected 2017, 28 Mackenzie and didn't realize that was a man working with essentially one leg. That was one leg Mackenzie Milton that we saw over the course of this past season. My concern with going after our quarterback in the transfer portal, especially somebody who wherever school JT Daniels goes to, this is going to be his third school in his period of time in college. That's another thing that concerns me, is somebody who's not willing to try to stay and try, at least make an effort to try to take.
If you can't beat out Bennett in Georgia, then I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried.
I feel like, and especially with I feel like this season, I feel like our schedule is going to be slightly, I'm not saying drastically, but slightly better for Florida State. Benefits Florida State slightly better. I'm willing to stick with Jordan Travis.
If Stetson Bennett transferred to Florida State, there wouldn't be a quarterback competition.
He's just hating on Georgia. I'm staying out of this.
What do you think, Logan? I don't think that there would be a quarterback. He's the starter.
I remember a national championship. Some of the fans wanted him out of that game, and they wanted to put in JT
did, but the fans are idiots. The fans are idiots. This guy, he's.
The Georgia fans are mad that he's coming back today.
I'm not selling him as Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. No, he's not a first-round NFL quarterback, but he's good. He's a top 15 to 20 quarterback in the country.
Wait,
he's in that range.
Did Bart just call the fans idiots? I thought that was my job to call the fans idiots.
The Georgia fans.
Many of the fans are idiots.
Not all. The Georgia fans are.
Some.
Yeah, no, I was seeing inside of the mentions today of our affiliate SI site that covers Georgia, and there's about like 70 comments back saying, "Are you kidding me? What? I'm ticked. I hate this." Which is kind of funny coming from a person that just won a national championship. But then I also saw the tweets of them saying they want him out of the game, take him out, and then put JT Daniels in. But that's when I think Georgia's fans are also a little too spoiled.
It was also 9-6 at halftime, so I kind of understand how that first.
So Bryce Young might be the best quarterback in the country, and it was 9-6 at halftime. Stetson Bennett is not a great quarterback. I'm not selling him as a great quarterback. I'm just saying he would start for just about anybody in the country. Probably he's a top 25 quarterback in the country. He's really good. The fans are knuckleheads for not saying that JT Daniels isn't a more talented player, but I would love to know what the fans' perspective on that would be if JT Daniels was the guy that had if they were just evaluating quarterbacks and their play so far. JT Daniels at USC and at Georgia, Stetson Bennett the last 2 years at Georgia, but they had the labels on them, Stetson Bennett 5-star, JT Daniels 3-star walk-on. People, if they looked through that lens, they would have a completely different perspective on this.
Mark, you're talking to two alumni of a school that hasn't played since November 27th, so we're not judging.
November 27th.
We're not judging Georgia on this one. But no, I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think I would take Stetson Bennett because I think he fits a little bit more into the offense, the way the offense is.
Well,
So that's why,
yes.
yes, I would take Stetson Bennett at this
He
point.
can run,
over,
yeah.
Right, over JT Daniel. Now, if you're talking about the Florida State offense under Jimbo Fisher, yes, JT Daniel fits that better. I'm just saying I don't think JT fits this offense. Thank you, William.
Yes, thank you,
That was
William.
random.
We appreciate it.
Williams in the house.
Williams.
What about this running back transfer before we get off? I probably should mention that. Trey Benson. Trey Benson picks Florida State. Kind of heard about this last week, waited a little bit over the weekend, and then visited Florida State before making his announcement, but became official. And he's currently a Florida State Seminole. I think Florida State fans are worried about health. Number one, this is a big back coming in, but he had a really bad leg injury. I mean, from what I saw and read up on, a lot of things in there in that knee and even hamstring that were injured. We'll see how, this fits. I think the fan base isn't so happy about it. I mean, this is Florida State's fan base, so it's Florida State's fan base. They're kind of maybe just like Georgia's, and they're going to do the grading on it, not the coaching staff. It's not like the coaching staff would have done their thing. They did it with Deshaun Corbin. Look at Deshaun Corbin. Excelled and did well here at Florida State, but this is a big back coming in. He can move, but he's just a muscle back, and that's a good size coming to Florida State's running back room. We'll just have to see. I think the biggest question mark is health for sure. But if I were to trust anybody, definitely with transfers and being successful in that department, definitely even with, like I had just mentioned, Deshaun Corbin and having a pass and bringing a guy in that had a knee injury. You gotta trust the staff here until they do you otherwise. I have nothing else to say, but you gotta trust the staff on what they've grabbed and they feel comfortable with.
Also, before we go, shout out to Leonard Hamilton basketball team beating the number 6 team.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. We got the shout out in.
Get the shout out. Shout out to the basketball team. Come down, kick Miami's butt this week. Let's do this.
That's right. They're back.
They'll be down here.
What is
right?
This?
That's good to know. I can sleep easy tonight.
I know I know that when I bring the basketball knowledge and the soccer knowledge and the baseball knowledge, I know that helps you sleep.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm here for.
I appreciate that.
I'm your real life NyQuil. Is pretty much what I am. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
In other ways. John White, Mark, if you put Stetson Bennett on Florida State last year, how many games do you think Florida State wins? I go 6 minimum. Probably just one game. I'll go the Jacksonville State game. They win that game.
Yeah, I think JT's legs and NC State would get the win there. I don't know. That's always a fun question. Those kind of questions just.
Yeah, they mean nothing. We don't know. We don't know. It's all a guess. All right.
It's hard.
This is what we do every week, folks. Wednesday at 6 Eastern with these guys, Logan Robinson, Noel Game Day, and the Discord that you can get on Patreon.
That's right,
get
baby.
There.
Get in there now, Jason. Get in there now. And go check out. We just launched our first chapter with Chris Parson. We just launched that.
Nice.
We'll be doing 12 chapters this year with him before he enrolls at FSU.
Okay. Folks, I give my personal endorsement. I'm a member of the Florida State Discord on Patreon right here. So jump on in, get the insider info.
I'll join the Discord if Logan gets that Nike Noel Game Day shirt sent down here. Down to Pembroke Heights. You get a Nike Noel Game Day shirt, I'll join the Discord.
I would love to see the discussions in the Discord, Jason. You would have a long, fun night.
Have that for me at the spring. Have that for me at the spring game, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Oh, damn.
All right, folks. We'll see you back here next Wednesday at 6 Eastern. Jason might actually show up. We'll see you.
Whoa.
I think I'll make it. Let me look at my calendar.